Hey Capricorn, welcome to Black Star Tarot. This is your love reading for the month of July. I don't know why I keep saying June, but it is July. We are going to be using this deck. I actually like this deck. It's actually been very challenging. This is my first time using it. And I do like it, but the messages have been wild and crazy. The majority of them has been crazy than not. So this is the deck that speaks of what they don't like, and it is an answers oracle deck. So basically, it's shining some light into the things that your person may not be telling you, like what they don't like about the dynamic, the relationship, what they don't like about you, right? And the fun part about this Capricorn is it also can tell your cross watcher what it is that you don't like about them. So these messages are interchangeably. Let's just have some fun and see what comes out and enjoy ourselves. All right, so messages for Capricorn. What is it that their person doesn't like? Victim. Okay. All right, so just give me a minute so we can sit and meditate on this. I can see what messages Spirit has for you. So Capricorn got the card of victim. So your person doesn't like that you play the victim. Okay. All right. So the card kind of speaks for itself, just to be honest, but I feel that so Capricorn, let's just start with you a little bit. So I think like as a Capricorn, and I realize not every Capricorn is the same, but if we just like, you know, meditate on this card and how it relates to your energy, you know, Capricorn is known like for being the one who handles it. You know what I'm saying? Who keeps it together, you know, and doesn't really show, you know, signs of weakness. Okay. Oh, I used to love my Capricorn. Anyway, doesn't matter, but let's move on. So, you handle it, right? You keep it together and you usually don't show, you know, signs of weakness, but in shadow, right? In shadow, you can absolutely fall into that martyr energy. Okay, so I just want to say that. No, I said that, you know, the energies are interchangeably. So, you know, your person may not like that you're playing the victim right now, okay? Or this could be your person that's playing the victim. But I just want to throw that out there, okay? Because, you know, in your shadow energy, like I said, you can absolutely fall into that martyr energy, you know, acting like, you know, you carry the weight of the world and that no one understands the struggle. All right, so let's just to say that we all can do that. You ain't no different. All right, so what your person basically isn't liking here is that you act like you carry the world on your shoulders, but it's almost like they feel like you never let anyone forget it, right? That's kind of like the energy I'm getting here. Where am I getting this from? I don't know. Okay, I'm just speaking what's on my mind. Okay, if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. All right, yeah, so it's almost like every struggle your person feels like becomes like a story about how much, you know, you had to sacrifice lately. You know, this is kind of how they're feeling. Like every disagreement turns into kind of like proof that no one sees how hard you work. And we all know Capricorn's work, right? You guys are, you know, very hard workers, very dedicated to whatever it is that you're doing. I know like my Capricorn, all he talked about was his business, his business, his business, his business. And I just was like, damn, I wish I was your business. Anyway, but yeah, so, you know, so your person feels like you're suffering, you know, like a badge right now, like whatever's going on. And they feel like you're kind of using it to deflect, you know, responsibility, I think, in some way. Okay, instead of owning your role, you know, in whatever conflict the relationship is in right now, they feel like you're retreating like into like, you know, poor me, you know, like that poor me energy, kind of expecting them to fix what you refuse to see or to face right now. That is the energy that I'm getting here. I don't know. I see burdens or something. You know, I see burdens. I see blame. We're gonna have to do some clarifiers because I'm out of messages. Okay, I'm out of it. I don't hear anything else. So let's see. We got a heavy hitter. You know, I always call my major arcanas the heavy hitters. When they show up, they take preference of all the messages. And look at that. Look at that hard work. We were just talking about that, right? So I get it. You know, but somebody's tired. I can see that, right? Right. Yeah, where's the burdens at? I see this Five of Swords. I see the disagreements here. I see some losses of some kind. Okay, conflict. Yeah, the conflict. Yeah, and we have outside influences. I hate outside influences. You know, seriously. I never really feel like they're good. I mean, they can be, but yeah, I don't know. So our clarifiers are Temperance, Eight of Pentacles, Five of Swords, and Three of Cups. Let me meditate on this for a minute, y'all. See what the message is here. Let's see. Let me get a sip. All right. All right, so let's just kind of break down the cards because that helps me. It's almost like me reading out loud. I try not to do it, but you know, I just can't help myself because I'm long-winded, and it just kind of helps me articulate the messages just a little bit better. So Temperance here, at least in the, as far as like, you know, with Capricorn, you know, as a whole, their energy, I feel like this suggests like Capricorn appearing like balanced, right? Like I said, like you guys usually, you know, have it together, right? And that's kind of how I'm feeling here. I feel like when Temperance shows up, it suggests this is like, you know, Capricorn, you and your energy, you know, trying to appear like everything is balanced, right? Everything is under control, but underneath, you know, that calm exterior, I feel like there's some type of emotional avoidance in some way, shape, or form. I feel like somebody may be playing victim. You may be hearing somebody say things like, they're just trying to keep the peace, right? Somebody could be saying that, they may be saying that though, while avoiding real like emotional accountability, right? Not sure how I'm feeling about that, but let's just move on, right? Because Temperance is always here to balance things out and to keep, you know, the peace in some way, shape, or form. Let me get this under and get this better here. Hold on, y'all. My phone is dying. Give me 1 second. Alrighty. All right. So, moving on. Let's talk about this Eight of Pentacles. So this card is, like I said earlier, this card is classic for Capricorn. Y'all forgive me. I'm just all over the place. Don't you fall. I don't want to start this video over. I touched it and now it just went all over. Oh, y'all. Give me a minute. Okay. All right. It's going to be what it's going to be. I can't believe I'm just destroying this video like this. Whatever. All right. So like I said, this is classic. This card is classic, you know, for Capricorn. You know, it represents hard work, dedication, the effort that you're putting in, you know, for your friends, your family, you know, your business, your loved ones. Okay. But in shadow, Capricorn, if this is you, right? You know, in shadow, you know, this is where you use like your work ethic or your business as a shield. You know what I mean? It's almost like, you know, somebody could be hearing Capricorn say like, I do everything, right? No one works harder than me, right? This is that martyr stuff. And, you know, Capricorn, if this is you saying that, cross watcher, you know, Capricorn is doing this to justify why they shut down emotionally sometimes, or they may expect others to meet their needs without necessarily asking like directly, right? So Capricorn, your person, you know, really doesn't like if this is you, they don't really like your tactics. Like they don't like the way, you know, you playing, you know, victim. Yes, you work hard. Like, yes, they understand, you know, your struggles, right? They understand that because the Five of Swords, you know, can speak of struggles, but really what it really represents is power struggles, right? Ego battles, okay? And playing, to win at any cost, right? And Capricorn, you may play the victim sometimes while, manipulating, the situation or turning people into your opponents. And you have to be mindful of that, you can turn people, in this particular dynamic. I feel like that's kind of what's happening. Like you're turning, the person that you're dealing with into an opponent, instead of a partner, right? Okay, so somebody, I don't know, this is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing somebody say like, you hurt me. And I also feel like, someone saying like, I don't know, I keep hearing holding it together. I keep hearing that someone is saying like they hurt me. I hear somebody just keep saying, I'm the one that's holding together. I'm the one that's working. These are the messages that's playing in my head right now, y'all. And I'm trying to articulate this, but like, that is what I'm feeling. That is what I'm experiencing, like, in this reading with you guys. Like I just hear somebody saying that, you hurt me, and I don't know, something like holding something together. All right, let's move on to the Three of Cups. So the Three of Cups, in the Capricorn energy, I feel like, this is keeping things more light, right? Or at least on the surface, right? The Three of Cups energy comes into this reading. It kind of keeps things light, social, like everything is fine, particularly like in public, right? But behind closed doors, I think there is some type of shift, like in this family, like in this dynamic. This can also suggest like, that somebody may be seeking like validation or maybe some type of emotional distraction, like from friends. There could be some gossiping or attention, okay? Or somebody speaking outside of the relationship, particularly if they feel misunderstood. Okay, so Capricorn could be going, like maybe calling, a sibling or a friend, kind of, if they're not feeling misunderstood, they could be, chattering or gossiping or trying to find some type of validation or healing from someone, in the family or outside of the direct unit. Like if this is a relationship like boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever your relationship is, this could be, somebody be like, calling their best friend, oh my God, you know what Capricorn did today? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is kind of feel like what's going on here, right? Because somebody, feels victimized here, in some way. So basically what somebody doesn't like here is that, somebody is presenting themselves, right, as calm and composed, right? Because that's how our temperance is here. But then behind the scenes, somebody is quietly like tallying like every wrong, like almost like a ledger. Like I kind of feel like someone's doing this here. Like somebody here is working hard, yes, for sure, right? But then they use that effort to justify like their emotional withdrawal, right? Or somebody's guilt tripping somebody here, or there's some type of passive blame, like with this Five of Pentacles. Like I don't know exactly what this is. We'll find out when we get more clarification, but these are just the energies that are reeking off of this victim card, with the supporting cards here, the clarifiers here. It's almost like when things go wrong, like someone's not really actively arguing. I feel like somebody's withdrawing. And then I feel like somebody here kinds of like bring up like how much they sacrifice. Like I work hard, I bring in money, I take care of the family, I take care of the kids, I do this, I do that. Like that's the conversation that I'm hearing in somebody's crib right now. Like that's kind of what I'm feeling, right? It's like they withdraw and then they bring up how much they had to give up or how hard that they work, right? Because that's that Five of Swords right there. It's like, but then, you got this Three of Cups. Like this is a card where somebody, kind of keeps smiling, but the real conversation never happens, right? It really, like, again, and somebody's going, instead of addressing this, like, within the family, like, they may not even be telling, like, somebody may not be telling their partner or their spouse, like, yeah, I take care of everything. They may not be telling you directly. They may be going to other people saying that, yeah, I pay all the bills. I work really hard. I'm holding everything together, because there's something about this card that I'm seeing, like, it's almost like somebody's smiling, but the real conversation is not happening, but in the relationship. Like, it's outside of it. And when someone does bring up how they feel, they kind of bring it up through like that victim mentality. It's like they try to reach, or they in the conversation, they try to reach you through like the victim story, and it's kind of like, you're using it to stay like emotionally safe. I don't know if that's making sense. Maybe I'm reading too deep into this, but I'm trying to kind of just bring this together. So like with this victim card, like what they don't like pretty much is that you make your struggle your identity, so to speak. It's like you work hard, yes, they see that. Yeah, you stay composed, yes, they say that. But then someone kind of turns the hurt into proof, right? That nobody understands me. You know what I'm saying? Like you play the victim. Like, nobody understands me. I work so hard. I try so hard. And all this stuff may be true, but it's just very, very immature, right? You can find better ways to heal, how you're feeling or what you're experiencing than to turn into the victim. So that's what your person, kind of isn't liking right now. Like, they're just not feeling the way that you're expressing yourself. Let's get some clarification, because I told you these readings have been crazy. They don't like this victim stuff, right? Oh, look at this. Like, look, they know you loyal. I can see that. Most Capricorns are, most of the time. Okay, releasing. All right, let's get all the cards and then we'll go through them. We'll kind of summon this up. Healing. There's Temperance again. Look at that. You got that twice. So that's big message here. And then we have this guy here. All right. And we have foundations on the bottom of the deck. Like family, security. This is what we've been talking about. This is a dire message, right? Capricorn holding it down here. Okay. We get it. Capricorn is doing the work. We get it. And this, like, again, you can reverse the roles, but I mean, I kind of see what I see in this particular message. Capricorn, I do feel like, this is what they don't like about you, all right? Okay, and that's okay, right? And it's not, don't be hurt. All right, so as clarifiers, we have loyalty, releasing, healing, and only you. All right. So let's see here how this kind of plays into this dynamic. So, let's just start with the loyalty. So how do I feel about this? So like I said, like when this card isn't a surprise to me. It says trust and reliability, and believing. But the two words that stand out most to me in this message is the loyalty and the reliability, right? It's like Capricorn, see themselves, and I think a lot of other people do, as probably the most loyal person, in the room, okay? Because they hold it down, right? Because they normally, stay committed. But when that loyalty kind of becomes a performance, I guess here, guys, they weaponize it. So, and that's kind of how like your person is feeling, right? It's like, Capricorn kind of has that mindset of like, I stayed when no one else did, right? That's the energy that Capricorn, is kind of, displaying, or often displays and energetically, okay? And sometimes they use it as emotional leverage. And I think this is what your person, doesn't like, that you use those qualities about you as emotional leverage, Capricorn. This releasing, it says letting go, moving on, walking away. Well, this is the core issue. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the core issue. Like, sometimes, Capricorn, you don't know when to just let go, right? You just don't know when to walk away. Like, not of the pain, not necessarily of like expectations, maybe not even of the story. Where say somebody may have like wronged you or something, but, and I guess what I'm saying is this this type of, when you're in this victim mode, right, it prevents growth, and it kind of keeps you, in that victim mode, okay? And this is kind of what, you know, they're not feeling right now. So if you're struggling in your relationship right now, and you may be wondering how your person is feeling, like, this is how they're seeing it, right? These messages are, you know, to help. And again, I'm gonna say it again, you know, if this is not you, then it's the other, you know, you can reverse the role, you know. However, like, this is kind of, you know, how they're feeling. So we have this healing card. It says releasing, again, letting go. You know what I'm saying? You got releasing. So this is something that you really need to do. You need to take a deep breath, right? Go take a reprieve, go take a vacation, you know, kind of release yourself, you know, from this mindset of this energy, right? You know, they say that, you know, like true healing, like, you know, they I don't know, like almost like, they say like true healing like kind of requires like accountability, you know what I mean? And some people may avoid that, like they avoid hard truths while, you know, kind of still expecting the emotional rewards, right, of being seen, right, as like, you know, doing the work. Like, in other words, like, you know, like, you're not healing, right? You're not doing the, you're not releasing this, like you're still stuck like in the same place, right? And the thing is that others around you, particularly your person, you know, is aware of this, right? It's not just about you, right, emotionally, right? You know, I think a lot of you may be attached to the idea that you or whoever you're in conflict with are the only ones that who's owed comfort, you know, or validation or proof and things of that nature. Like, it doesn't, it's not you. For some reason, there are other people attached. You know, I don't know if this is a family here or something, but I just feel like, you know, this healing isn't just all about you. Like, you letting go and releasing this victim mentality, you know, is not just, you know, for you. Because I, you know, again, I feel like, you know, what it is that what they don't like is that your loyalty. Like, they see you're loyal, right? They see you, right? They see your hard work, they see your dedication, they see your attachment to your family, you know, they see your commitment, they see all of that. But what they don't like is that this loyalty comes with conditions. That's what they don't like, right? You say you're healing, right? But I feel like your person feels like you never are, you're not letting go of some type of pain here. Like, you say committed, but then you use that commitment as proof, you know, that others, you know, have failed you in some way, shape, or form. And like, somebody is just getting just a little tired of it here. It's like you carry the struggle like your shield, and then you expect others to carry that guilt with you, and they don't like that. They're just, you know, somebody just wants to be, you know, free from this. Like, they feel like they're always trying to love you out, you know, of your situation or out of the past. Like, whatever this load is that you're carrying, right? Whatever this 5 of Swords is, whatever you're conflicting with, whatever you're battling with inside, whatever you've lost, whoever has betrayed you, whoever has done whatever to you, right? It's almost like you're trying to work your way, you know, through your healing. And that's not quite how it works, right? I don't know, it's something that, I don't know. They kind of feel like you act like, I don't know, maybe like they're the only ones that can fix this. Like, you act like, you know, like they're the only one who can fix, you know, what's broken. But I feel like you have to open the door. Like, you have to open the door to healing. I don't even know if that makes sense. So, you know, and Capricorn, listen, I'm just gonna kind of leave this here, right? Because it's getting a little strange. So, like, here's the thing, right? Sometimes, you know, people, you know, play the victim, right, in order so that, you know, you stay loyal, you know, but then you kind of just don't let go. You know, I feel like right now, like, you're saying that you're healing, but then at the same time, you're still holding on to some type of hurt here. And I don't know necessarily what that is, okay? But somebody feels like no matter, you know, what they do, right, you still need them to pay, you know, for some type of past, event. I kind of want to know like what this is. So I'm just going to create just a little bit more because I want to know kind of what this hurt is, or what is this? Like, why are you playing victim? Like, I see your loyalty, I see your dedication, but there's something here that needs to be healed. There's something that's here that needs to be released, okay? And whatever this energy is that's surrounding you, it's affecting your relationship, and it's also affecting your family. All right, so you got some type of separation. Family. Some of you could be already separated from your family. I don't know how, some of you could, like I said, I remember, a Capricorn was so dedicated to his business, to his work. It was almost like his family took, this, second place, right? Right? There was no balance. Like, you have healing all over the place on this reading. Some of you could be dealing with a Sagittarius. It doesn't have to be, but you could be dealing with a Sagittarius. You could be separated from a Sagittarius. I don't know. But some of you are separated from your family. You got bound again. That's that Capricorn energy. So you're showing up, pretty much in your own reading. That's the devil here. Okay, some of you could be separated, because of restraints. You could be stuck somewhere. You could have cheated, right? And that could have caused separation, right? Your job could be who you're cheating with. Like, who the hell knows, right? Like I said, like, sometimes you could get so engrossed, in having to be a provider, right? But I do see, like, this hurt here, this is deep. You almost have like a twin flame energy here. So be careful about, getting so engrossed in relationships where, because the universe will start throwing those hard lessons in there. So be mindful of that. But some of you got some inner, that inner child, like there's something going on with you. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to think. Like, I'm honestly trying to figure out, like, what this is. What is this hurt? Like, what is bothering you here? Like, what is it that you need to purge or release yourself, from? There's some type of wound, like you've been wounded here or rejected even. Maybe from your family, maybe from your significant other. I don't know. There's some type of betrayal, particularly with the Five of Swords here. Someone seeking comfort in this reading. Somebody seeking safety. Someone seeking attention. And it may not even be conscious. It may be like subconsciously. Like somebody is in need of something here and somebody is extremely vulnerable. That's why they feel like a victim. There's someone blaming somebody else for things. There could be some back and forth. There's somebody that's been cut out. Someone's not being heard. There's an innocence here, right? So there's something with childlike energy, children, inner child. There's something here. Like someone's past is legitimately driving their presence in this reading, right? And when things get hard, it's not like the adult that shows up in this reading, okay? It's that victim, right? And this is what your person doesn't like. It's that scared kid, that scared inner child. And this is what your person doesn't like. It's like somebody wants to love you, Capricorn, but they feel like they're always parenting your pain instead of partnering with your heart. You see what I'm saying? Now I see where the message is coming in. It took me long to get here, but it's so, I'm getting those downloads now. Like I'm starting to understand what's playing out here. You know what I'm saying? So, it's a lot. There's a Capricorn here or somebody who's hurting. And Capricorn, I do feel like it's you. Okay? And I feel like whoever you're dealing with, they can see the child in you. They see the tenderness, the sweetness, the vulnerability, that's there. Like they see that one that still flinches, that still needs approval, that still fears being left behind. That's that victim. But they don't know, like they don't know how to hold you without losing themselves. Wow, yo. They need you to meet them, Capricorn. They need you to meet them as an equal, not as someone still waiting to be saved. You know what I'm saying? This sounds like that behavior, the Capricorn that I used to know. So this is what's happening here, right? You're in a cycle, right? You're in a cycle. You're going through it again. For some of you, Capricorn, you've been here before. Your relationship, you're having issues in your relationship right now. Things are out of control. It needs cleansing. You need healing. It's interesting. And stop playing a victim, man. Come on, stop it. Right? You got stuck. Exactly, because you're in a cycle. It's like, you know, every, what is it, like almost like every 5, 7, 10 years, you know, if you don't learn the lesson, if you don't heal yourself, it comes back again. New relationship, different person, same shit though. That's all I'm saying. You need healing. You got divine feminine on the bottom of the deck. You need healing, right? Don't be trying to run, get into another relationship because this one's working out. And the spirit is saying, don't do that. You're just going to make it worse. You're going to hurt your family. You need to make a decision, right? The Two of Swords, it's like you have options, right? I know right now there may be some confusion, right? You may be, you know, at a crossroads, but, you know, you have to work on your commitment. You see these cards? You know, there's someone here that loves you deeply, okay? Don't fall for the okie doke, fam, okay? Stay committed, stay devoted, you know, release whatever it is that you're going through, right? Don't follow that same path again. Like, you're going to have to do something different this time. All right, you see that reinvention? Do something different this time. If you want to fix this, do it right, right? Don't do what you did in the past, you know, trying to figure out how to escape something, right? Not speaking and talking about how you feel. Some of you are just sitting in this grief, right? You too tough, right? That divine masculine, you don't know how to articulate your feelings. You don't want to let your guard down. You don't want to cry, right? You don't want to work on yourself. That's why these energies keep coming back. You need to look inside and see that the problem is you. You understand? You're the problem. And look at that understanding. Once you realize that you need to change, there's metamorphosis, then the universe is going to align you on the frequencies, right? They're going to fix everything for you. But first, you have to come back to center, right? If not, these particular cycles, these relationships, right, are going to keep coming back if you don't do it right, if you don't let go, right? I could go on forever right now. This deck has legitimately been lined up just to speak to you for this reading, but I'm going to go because it's been 32 minutes and it's really long and a lot of you have probably checked out by now. Okay, so I'm going to let this go, okay? All right, Capricorn, this is a message that I have for you. I hope you enjoyed your reading and I hope things get better.